Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A traveler riding in a vehicle, a boat or bus or car or plane or train, etc., who is not operating it. A clause that is appended to a legislative bill. A traveler who actively rides an animal, as a horse or camel. A traveler who actively rides a vehicle, as a bicycle or motorcycle. A traveler riding in a vehicle, a boat or bus or car or plane or train, etc., who is not operating it. A person who changes location. A person who changes location. A separate section of a legal document, as a statute or contract or will. Grammar, an expression including a subject and predicate functioning as a part of a complex sentence. A separate section of a legal document, as a statute or contract or will. Bind by a contract, especially for a training period. Grammar, a determiner that may indicate the specificity of reference of a noun phrase. Non-fictional prose forming an independent part of a publication. One of a class of artifacts. An article of clothing. A person who travels by getting free rides from passing vehicles. A passenger train that is ridden primarily by passengers who travel regularly from one place to another. Someone who travels regularly from home in a suburb to work in a city. An agenda of things to do. The sum charged for riding in a public conveyance. Proceed or get along. A paying, taxi, passenger. Eat well. The food and drink that are regularly served or consumed. A person who hides aboard a ship or plane in the hope of getting free passage. A commuter who uses public transportation. A standing subway or bus passenger who grips a hanging strap for support. A man skilled in equitation. A person who breeds and cares for horses. A glider resembling a large kite. The rider hangs from it while descending from a height. A rider of a hang glider. A person who rides a pedal-driven vehicle, as a bicycle. A person who rides a pedal-driven vehicle, as a bicycle. A man skilled in equitation. Of or relating to or composed of knights. Of or relating to or featuring horseback riding. A man skilled in equitation. Enacted by a legislative body. Statute law. An act passed by a legislative body. A statute in draft before it becomes law. They held a public hearing on the bill. Publicize or announce by placards. A piece of paper money, especially one issued by a central bank. An itemized statement of money owed for goods shipped or services rendered. He paid his bill and left. A sign posted in a public place as an advertisement. Demand payment. We were billed for 4 nights in the hotel, although we stayed only 3 nights. Horny projecting mouth of a bird. An advertisement, usually printed on a page or in a leaflet, intended for wide distribution. A brim that projects to the front to shade the eyes. He pulled down the bill of his cap and trudged ahead. A cutting tool with a sharp edge. He used a bill to prune branches off of the tree. advertise especially by posters or placards. He was billed as the greatest tenor since Caruso. A list of particulars, as a playbill or bill of fare. The entertainment offered at a public presentation. A statute in draft before it becomes law. How much there is or how many there are of something that you can quantify. A basis for comparison. A reference point against which other things can be evaluated. They set the measure for all subsequent work. Any maneuver made as part of progress toward a goal. The situation called for strong measures. Determine the measurements of something or somebody, take measurements of. The act or process of assigning numbers to phenomena according to a rule. The measurements were carefully done. Express as a number or measure or quantity. Prosody. The accent in a metrical foot of verse. Measuring instrument having a sequence of marks at regular intervals. Used as a reference in making measurements. Musical notation for a repeating pattern of musical beats. Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of. A container of some standard capacity that is used to obtain fixed amounts of a substance. Have certain dimensions. This table surfaces measures 20 inches by 36 inches. An act passed by a legislative body. A car that is old and unreliable. The fenders had fallen off that old bus. A vehicle carrying many passengers, used for public transport. He always rode the bus to work. The topology of a network whose components are connected by a busbar. An electrical conductor that makes a common connection between several circuits. The busbar in this computer can transmit data either way between any two components of the system. Remove used dishes from the table in restaurants. Ride in a bus. Send or move around by bus. The children were bused to school. A motor vehicle with 4 wheels, usually propelled by an internal combustion engine. He needs a car to get to work. The compartment that is suspended from an airship and that carries personnel and the cargo and the power plant. Where passengers ride up and down. The car was on the top floor. A wheeled vehicle adapted to the rails of railroad. 3 cars had jumped the rails. A conveyance for passengers or freight on a cable railway. They took a cable car to the top of the mountain. An aircraft that has a fixed wing and is powered by propellers or jets. Teach and supervise, someone, act as a trainer or coach, 2, as in sports. She is coaching the crew. A vehicle carrying many passengers, used for public transport. Sports, someone in charge of training an athlete or a team. A railcar where passengers ride. A carriage pulled by 4 horses with 1 driver. A person who gives private instruction, as in singing, acting, etc. Drive a coach. A vehicle carrying many passengers, used for public transport. A vehicle carrying many passengers, used for public transport. An aircraft that has a fixed wing and is powered by propellers or jets. The flight was delayed due to trouble with the airplane. A motor vehicle with 4 wheels, usually propelled by an internal combustion engine. A vehicle carrying many passengers, used for public transport. A motor vehicle with 4 wheels, usually propelled by an internal combustion engine. Travel in an automobile.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.